Shedeur Sanders dominates day 2 with four performance. Let's talk about how a 3-4-8 stat line nearly triggered a media pylon. Before four comebacks shut it all down. If you only saw the headlines after Shedeur Sanders' first NFL camp outing with the Cleveland Browns, you'd think the kid had thrown his helmet in the trash and walked off the field. The takes were swift, loud, and borderline gleeful. Sanders struggles in Brown's debut. Rookie QB underwhelms. Is he ready for the NFL? If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. It was like the sports media world had been waiting, hoping for a misstep. But here's the thing. They left out the part where those 8 passes were with guys who might not even make the team. 4th-string receivers, inexperienced routes, limited chemistry, no real game speed rhythm. It's like grading a Michelin star chef for cooking with a plastic fork and an unplugged hot plate. You can't evaluate someone's ceiling based on the floor they're standing on. And just when the narrative was starting to congeal, bam, day 2 happens. For passes, for completions. This time, against legit second-string defenders. Not only did Sanders go perfect, but the way he went perfect told a different story than numbers ever could. Tight windows, sharp anticipation, mechanics that looked smoother than half the QB1S in the league. Suddenly, the media that was so quick to declare failure was silent. Because how do you spin that? Here's where it gets interesting. You can't talk about Shedeur without talking about expectations. He's not just another rookie. He's Deion Sanders' son. He's already a brand. That automatically puts a target on his back. People want to see if he can live up to the name or fall flat under the weight of it. And because he's confident, polished, and, God forbid, marketable, there's a certain segment of fans and analysts who want him to fail, or at least struggle. Because if he succeeds, it challenges everything we thought we knew about how rookies are supposed to earn their spot. But let's just be honest here. If any other rookie quarterback had gone for in their second camp session with the mechanics, touch, and command Shedeur showed, they'd be getting breathless ESPN segments and QB to watch graphics. Instead, we get crickets. Or worse, deflections. It's just practice. Or let's not overreact. Funny how that logic only applies after he plays well, right? Compare that to how media treats struggling veterans. Kenny Pickett can throw 3 straight balls into the dirt in warm-ups, and it's just working through timing. Joe Flacco can hit defenders in the chest, and somehow it's a savvy risk that didn't pay off. Meanwhile, Shedeur completes half his passes with 4th-stringers, and suddenly we're having existential debates about whether he belongs in the NFL? Make it make sense. The double standard is real, and it's not just about age or experience. It's about narrative. Shedeur represents a new breed of quarterback. Young, composed, brand-conscious, and unapologetically confident. He's not shy about his goals. He's not groveling for approval. And he's certainly not afraid to bet on himself. That rubs some people the wrong way, especially in a league that still clings to ideas of waiting your turn and earning your stripes. But guess what? He is earning them. In the only way that matters, with performance. And if we're talking performance, let's break down what that for actually looked like. These weren't dink and dunks or checkdowns. We're talking legit progressions, sharp timing throws, reads under pressure, and control of the offense. His ball placement on the sideline route, NFL level. The anticipation on the slant against zone coverage, textbook. His footwork in the rollout drill, clean. This wasn't just a lucky day. It was a preview of a quarterback who's ready. And while coaches might be playing it coy in interviews, the momentum inside that building is shifting. Teammates notice. Locker rooms know. There's a different energy when a guy walks in and starts stacking wins, even in small reps. You can feel when a quarterback is ascending, and by all reports from people on ground, that feeling is already building around Shedeur. Here's where it gets political. Depth charts. The great illusion of order in football. As of now, Shedeur sits at QB4 on paper. But let's not kid ourselves. Those rankings are often less about performance and more about draft politics, tenure, and PR optics. Coaches will say everyone earns it, But we've seen too many rookies buried behind journeymen simply because it's easier than answering questions from the media. But that logic only holds for so long. If a guy is clearly outperforming those ahead of him, the pressure becomes real, internally and externally, especially when fans start buzzing, when highlights start circulating, and when local media starts asking why QB4 is outplaying QB2. And right now, Shedeur is building that buzz the right way. Not by talking, not by tweeting, but by showing up, learning fast, and delivering clean reps. That's what wins coaches over. That's what earns respect in a room full of grown men who don't care about your hype. They care if you can win games. And this is where the leadership part kicks in. Because as much as NFL success is about arm talent and film study, it's also about how you carry yourself, how you command a huddle, how you bounce back from a rough series, how you own your mistakes and lead your guys. And by all accounts, Shedeur is doing exactly that. He's not sulking. He's not flustered. He's asking questions, putting in extra work, and building trust with the guys around him. That matters. More than that, it accelerates everything. See, when a quarterback has the intangibles, the presence, the composure, the work ethic, it creates a kind of gravity. Players start to believe. Coaches start to lean in. And even front offices, who love their long-term plans, start to reconsider timelines. That's the position Shedeur is putting himself in. It's not that he's kicking down the door, demanding to start. It's that he's making it harder and harder to justify keeping him off the field. And that's how it always starts. A few good practices, a great preseason series, a spark in the locker room. Suddenly the QB room feels different. Suddenly, QB4 doesn't look like QB4 anymore. And if you're watching closely, you can already feel the inevitable shift. The media might still be catching up, but inside the Browns facility, the rise has already begun. Which brings us to the fans, because their role in this story is crucial. Fans have been burned by hype before, overpromised, underwhelmed. So it makes sense that there's skepticism. But what's happening with Shedeur is different. It's not just sizzle, it's steak. His fan base isn't fueled by blind loyalty. It's fueled by evidence. Tape, practice buzz, authentic leadership moments. People are seeing the real work, and they're rallying around it. Social media clips are circulating. Analysts are walking back their early takes. And the noise is starting to shift from doubt to curiosity. From is he ready to why isn't he getting more reps? That's how it starts. And here's the punchline. Shedeur isn't even close to his ceiling yet. This is just the beginning. He's still adjusting to NFL speed, still mastering the playbook, still getting his timing down. And even now, he's flashing traits that scream starter potential. So what happens when he gets more reps? More chemistry? A little more time in the system? We might be looking at a QB1 in waiting, and not for long. The Browns may have entered camp with a pecking order. But pecking orders don't survive performance. The NFL doesn't care about who went first or who's been here longer. It cares about results. And Shedeur Sanders is already starting to deliver them. If he keeps stacking days, if he keeps showing up with this level of precision and professionalism, it's only a matter of time before the coaches are forced to respond. Because nothing changes a depth chart faster than a quarterback who refuses to blend in. Shedeur isn't trying to fit in. He's building something. Quietly, but undeniably. The critics can cling to outdated narratives all they want, but the tape tells the truth. And if you've been paying attention, you know what it's saying. The rise isn't coming. It's happening. And if you're still doubting, that's fine. Just do yourself a favor and watch day 3. Because something tells us Shedeur's not done shutting people up. Not even close. You can feel in the air now. Something's changing. The buzz isn't manufactured. It's not media hype or off-season filler. It's momentum. The real kind. The kind you can't fake with press conferences or highlight edits. It builds quietly at first, subtle, almost ignorable. But then it starts showing up in reps, in body language, in the way teammates talk, the way coaches linger just a little longer on his throws. That's the moment we're in with Shedeur Sanders. The Browns might not say out loud, not yet, but they know. You don't need a press release to recognize a shift in the quarterback room. You can see it in the sideline interactions, the nods, the confidence in how he carries himself. He doesn't act like a four-string QB. He acts like someone who's already visualized the top spot, rehearsed it, and is now calmly walking toward it. It's in how he handles his mistakes. That rough day one performance could have crushed a lesser rookie, could have shaken his confidence, but it didn't. He took it on the chin, processed it, adjusted, and then came out and threw 4 perfect passes the next day. That's not just physical ability. That's mental resilience. That's what separates the guys who survive camp from the ones who lead teams. And that's the thing that continues to set Shedeur apart. The leadership, not the loud, chest-thumping kind. The real kind. The kind where veterans start to trust you. Where coaches start to ask your opinion. Where guys line up behind you because they want to. That kind of presence is rare, especially in a rookie. We don't talk about it enough. But NFL locker rooms are political spaces. Hierarchies matter. So do relationships. Veterans can smell a fraud from a mile away. They know who's there to work and who's just soaking up attention. And when someone like Shedeur comes in focused, professional, and low drama, it creates a ripple. When he makes the right read, people notice. When he pulls a rookie receiver aside to correct a route, people take note. When he stays late to study film, that gets around the facility fast, and it changes things. Internally, suddenly, that QB for label feels more like a formality than a reflection of reality, because the guy who's technically at the bottom of the chart is often the one setting the tone. You have to wonder what that does to the room, to the guys above him. Does it push them? Rattle them? Maybe both. But either way, the message is clear. There's no comfort zone. Not anymore. Because when someone below you starts stacking flawless reps and winning hearts in the locker room, your leash gets shorter. Your wiggle room shrinks. That's how competition works. And right now, Shedeur's creating it. The front office has to be paying attention. 2. Every franchise says it wants to develop quarterbacks, but very few know how to recognize a quarterback who's already developing himself. Shedeur didn't come to camp just hoping to fit into the system. He came to improve it. And you can bet the decision makers are already thinking about the optics, about the upside, about what it means to have a rookie QB who isn't asking for permission. He's just delivering. You don't need to be a scout to see it. The tape doesn't lie. His dropbacks are sharp. His reads are deliberate. His release is compact. The ball comes out with purpose. And there's a calmness, an intentionality in how he operates. That's not normal for someone fresh out of college. That's pro stuff. Even when the play breaks down, he doesn't panic. He doesn't scramble without a plan or force throws into traffic. He moves with discipline. He knows where his outlets are. He resets his feet. He thinks the game, and that's what separates future starters from training camp bodies. But what's really intriguing here is that Shedeur's progress isn't just physical or mental. It's accelerating. He's adjusting faster than expected, picking up the offense, building timing with receivers, learning the protections. Quarterback development isn't linear, but when it moves as fast, it forces organizations to act. Because when a player starts making leaps instead of steps, you have to clear a runway or risk holding him back. And holding him back? That's not an option for long. The truth is, franchises don't have the luxury of waiting anymore. Not when it comes to quarterbacks. The game moves too fast. The stakes are too high. If someone shows they're ready, or even on the verge, you have to act. You can't afford to bench talent just because of seniority. That's how you lose games. And worse, locker rooms. And this isn't just about talent. It's about trust. If players believe the best guy isn't playing because of politics or contract math, morale suffers. The team starts to fragment. But when a coach gives reps based on performance, when a rising rookie gets bumped up because he's earned it, that galvanizes everyone. It proves that merit still matters, that winning still comes first. And Shedeur, he's playing like someone who wins. We're not saying he's going to leapfrog 3 spots tomorrow, but we are saying it's no longer hypothetical. It's a real discussion now, one the coaches are having in closed-door meetings, one that keeps getting louder every time he delivers another crisp session, every time his receivers vouch for him, every time the defensive backs grudgingly give him credit. It's becoming harder and harder to deny. And let's be clear, this isn't some fairy tale of a rookie shocking the world with raw talent. It's the result of work. Shedeur didn't stumble into this opportunity. He earned it with preparation, with discipline, with reps that keep turning heads. So where does that leave us? It leaves us watching a quarterback ascend in real time. It leaves us questioning why so many were so quick to write him off after one shaky start. And it leaves us with one undeniable truth. Shedeur Sanders isn't just ready for this level. He's rising through it. And the only real question now is whether the Browns are ready to let that rise continue. Are they bold enough to bump him up the chart? To give him second-team reps in camp? Maybe even first-team work in preseason games? Because those reps are coming. Whether it's tomorrow or 3 weeks from now, they're inevitable. And when they come, it won't be a test. It'll be a continuation of what he's already doing. This isn't the start of the climb. It's the middle of it. All that's left is for the world to catch up. So go ahead, watch the tape. Rewind that 4 for 4. Track the footwork. Measure the poise. Then ask yourself, if that's not a quarterback on the rise, what is? And if you're still clinging to those day one numbers, ask yourself why. Because anyone who actually watches what Shedeur is doing now knows those early struggles were just that, early. The kind of hiccups that every rookie faces. The kind that don't define a career, but the response to them does. And his response was perfect, literally, 4 for 4, and climbing. And if that 4 for 4 stat line didn't make the message clear, then maybe the way his teammates are reacting will. Because here's what never shows up in box scores, who the players gravitate toward, who they want in the huddle when it's third and long, who gets the head nods in between drills. You can't fake that chemistry. You can't fabricate respect. And Shedeur is earning both one rep at a time. That's not something the media narrative can spin away. When linemen are clapping after completions, when receivers are coming back to line with a little more bounce, when defenders, yes, even them, start giving you dap after a sharp throw, that's when you know something's happening. Real momentum, real belief. And belief is everything in football. See, you can coach technique. You can correct footwork. You can rep out schemes. But belief, that comes from seeing it, from witnessing someone take command, not just of a play, but of a moment. Shedeur isn't just hitting his reads. He's owning the drill. He's walking into each rep like it's already his. And maybe that confidence is what scares people, because it's not arrogance. It's not empty bravado. It's composure, the kind of unshakable calm that can't be taught. That's the thing veteran coaches spot from across the field. It's what makes you circle a name on a depth chart and think, we might have something here. Let's be real, NFL training camps are grind. Everyone looks good in shorts on day one. But the true test is what happens after the second bad throw, the first interception, the first time a linebacker gets in your face. Do you fold? Do you second guess? Or do you adjust, lock in, and deliver? Shedeur has been delivering. And not just with throws, but with presence, with how he carries himself off the field, too. The guy isn't chasing cameras. He's not falling for the baited questions about depth charts or expectations. He's staying in his lane, doing the work, and letting his game talk. That's maturity. And it's rare, especially for a rookie with this much attention, this much legacy, this much pressure. A lot of players in his position will be trying to go viral, post stats, prove something. But Shedeur, he's playing the long game. He knows narratives fade. Headlines get recycled. But consistency, that's how you stay in the league. Which makes all the media noise about his day one performance even more laughable in hindsight. Because that's the trap, taking a snapshot and pretending it's a whole story. One off day, in early camp, with no chemistry, with fringe personnel, and the hot takes were already writing him off. This is exactly why context matters. No one's talking about how many of those incompletions were drops, or how he was working with guys who might not be on the roster by September, or how a rookie quarterback in a brand new system, on day one of camp, probably isn't going to look like prime Mahomes out of the gate. But of course, Shedeur doesn't get the benefit of the doubt that others do. Not yet. Why? Maybe it's the name. Maybe it's the swagger. Maybe it's just people uncomfortable with someone who dares to be confident and prepared. But the reality is, he's got to do more than just perform. He's got to outperform perception. That's exactly what he's doing now. Because there's nothing more powerful than answering doubt with results. And when you follow up a shaky start with a perfect day against tougher competition, that's how you flip the script. And make no mistake, the script is flipping. You're already hearing it. Whispers about giving him more reps. Rumors of new packages being designed to showcase his strengths. Teammates bringing him up in interviews. It starts small, but it builds. And once that momentum catches, it's hard to slow down, especially if he keeps stacking performances. That's the thing about quarterback development. It's not just about talent. It's about trajectory. You want to see that upward curve. You want to see a guy take coaching, fix his mistakes, and get better every time he touches a field. Shedeur is doing that. And if you're the Browns, you can't ignore it for long. You can't bury it behind roster politics or placeholder veterans. Not when your team needs energy, playmaking, and leadership. Not when your fan base is watching every snap, asking questions, making noise. So to those still holding on to that 3-4-8 narrative, maybe check the tape again. Better yet, keep watching. Because Shedeur isn't done proving people wrong. He's just getting started.